All right, it is Hello Again Wednesday, number 51. Thank you for joining me on this segment of Hello Again Wednesday. It is always good to have you listening along, watching along with me. Thank you so much for that. I probably do this all the time, but I'm going to really concentrate on doing more of this, especially this holiday season. I'm going to be very intentional about some of the questions, maybe 2 or 3 questions that I'm going to ask in every segment through especially this holiday season. An example is because we are into the month of November, I'm going to start off with this question and hopefully end with this question, and that is, what are you thankful for, and what is your favorite Thanksgiving memory? Question: what are you thankful for, and what is your favorite Thanksgiving memory? I ask these questions so that you'll actually comment. Please leave comments. I had comments last week on some of the things. They did miss something though, but I did have comments. Thank you for those comments. I'm always reading and clicking on them. So click and comment on this one. What are you thankful for, and what is your favorite Thanksgiving memory? And so last week, even in those comments that I had, no one commented on the one question, and that is, what is in my office here that you see in my office that represented a holiday event last weekend? And I really wanted you, I'll probably point it out, I'll probably do a still shot next week to point out, this is what you missed, this is what you didn't comment on, this is what was in his office that was about a holiday thing. Okay, go ahead and comment on the holiday thing. So hey, now the main question, the segment question of today is, what entails lifelong happiness? I'm going to try and put that into other things, but what entails lifelong happiness? I asked that question because as I was kind of looking around at stuff on TED Talks, you can always go and look at TED Talks if you like. It was a gentleman by the name of Robert Waldinger. Back in 2015, he did a segment on TED Talks, and it was about happiness and healthy lives and stuff like that. What is a happy, healthy life? And so what he did, because what he is the head researcher, especially in 2015, of this research that began in 1938. And so all those years, and there was many other head of research, but there's been and many other researchers in this movement, but they all did this same segment, it started in 1938. They had 724 men that they were researching about happy, healthy lives. But they began in this segment of Robert Waldinger mentioned a survey question. And it went like this. It was, what is the most important life goals in your life? And they asked these young people, they asked the millennials of the 2015, what are the most important life goals? And in those in that question, 80% of those that response was that the most important goal was to get rich, wealth. And then they looked at the second most important one, and that was 50% said the second most important thing was to be famous. So be rich and famous, to have wealth and famous. And so the third thing that kind of was number 3 probably in that questionnaire that they had in their research was that they discovered that the millennials especially felt that they were constantly told to lean into work, to push harder and harder to achieve more. That's the way you'll have a good life. So let's go back to this research. In 1938, 724 men, and later on in life, they had their wives join in on this research, which is really cool. But it started off with 724 men to learn about healthy, happy life. And they discovered that it wasn't about wealth, fame, or working harder. The clearest message that they got from a 75-year study at least back to 2015 was this. Ready? Good relationships keep us happier and healthier, period. Then there was three big lessons in this lifelong research. And the first one of the lessons learned was that social connections are what are really good for us, and that loneliness kills. So to be socially connected to your family, your friends, your community, those people are happier and physically healthier, and they live longer than the people who are not connected. And so, as that total opposite there, you have people who are more isolated from others. They're less happy. They're less. In fact, they discovered in this research that by midlife, their health began to decline, and then as they grew older and older, the brain function started to decline sooner than those, and their lives were lived out shorter than those that were well connected. In this time frame of research of 75 years, they have, especially in 2015, they knew by 2015, one in every five Americans reported that they were lonely. That needs to change. You know, you will always have loneliness. We need to make the effort. We, the people, me and you, need to make the effort to seek out lonely people so that they are not lonely. And we're going to get in deeper with that, because it's not just well, this is the second thing that they discovered, that loneliness is not just about, see, I say we need to connect to people so that they're not lonely, but we have to have this understanding that they have discovered. The second thing was that you can still be even lonely in a crowd or in a relationship. You can still be lonely. Why is that? Because it's not the number of friends you have, and it's not whether you're in a committed relationship or not. It is, ready, the quality of your close relationships that matter. The quality, not the quantity, the quality of that relationship is what matters in living a healthy, happy life. As they followed these 724 men, they had to really make a dedicated commitment to this research, as they started off as a young man and now they're well into their 80s. And in this research, the researchers decided to go back to what would be their midlife, back to their age, upper 40s, to that 50-year mark maybe, to see if they could see something that would determine who was going to grow to be happier and healthier. And as they looked at that age group of 50, which I'm in my 56, I'm in the 50s, as they looked at those people, it was not about their cholesterol level that gave them a happier life or not a happier life. It was not their cholesterol level that gave them whether they were going to grow old or not. It was those individuals, the ones that were going to grow older, they discovered if they were satisfied with their relationships or satisfied in their relationships at 50, they would grow happier, healthier lives. And they discovered it at 80. They saw that. One of the other things that they saw with those people who started at 50, especially to be in a satisfied relationship, is that through life, they had this buffer. They had this protection plan that got them through the most difficult times in their lives because of the quality of their relationship. The third thing in the research that they had discovered is that this happier, healthier life, it really was healthier. It began, they could see how the brain function, how their thought process, how that was happier and healthier because of, remember that 50-year mark, okay? These people were in secure, comfortable, happy relationships. And those people, well into their 80s, because of because they felt that they could count on one another. They could count on their family. They could count on their friends. They could count on those in the community because of that kind of a relationship. Those people, their memories stayed sharper well into their 80s. Whereas those who couldn't count on their family, who couldn't count on their friends, who couldn't count on their community in this research, they discovered that their memories early on began to decline. So, ready? The message that they had in their research was this: that good, close relationships are good for health and well-being. This is wisdom that is as old as the hills. I like to highlight as I read my own transcripts and stuff. I like to highlight or make in bold, because when I heard the gentleman say that though good close relationships are good for health and well-being, and that this is wisdom as old as the hills, that's what I pray. I'm a praying man. That's what I pray for. Wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. Not just for myself, but for others that are connected to me too, that they too might have wisdom. They look out for you. That's that protection. That's that buffering that was talked about in the other portion of the relationships. When you have that, you're going to live happier and healthier lives. And so I pray for wisdom. The problem is we often ignore it. We are always looking for that quick fix, that this is going to be the fastest way for good, healthier lives, and we look for it. But in reality, relationships are messy and they're complicated, and it takes a lot of hard work for family. It takes a lot of hard work for friendships, and it is in reality a lifelong thing, and it never ends. And so I keep looking for that wisdom. When you look for the wisdom from others, you learn, okay? And in this research, they learned one really huge thing, in my eyes, a real huge thing. In this lifelong thing that's of watching these men from young to well into their 80s, this is one of the things that they saw in the men who lived the happiest, healthiest lives, is that they learned in retirement. So they had healthy relationships with family and friends and community, which meant they had healthy relationships in their workplace. Well, they learned to go from their workplace of workmates to playmates. And you can have those workmates join in. They move from a work thought process to that playmate, to that playtime. And those people continued to have happy, healthy lives. Early on in the research, they asked those men the same question they asked the millennials in 2015. What are the goals in life for a happy, healthy life? And they had the same response. It was about wealth. It was about fame. But then in that 75 years, they learned that some of those men especially, they fared best when they moved away from wealth and fame and more toward leaning on family, leaning on friends, leaning on community, and having it be a close, good quality relationship. Those are the ones that discovered true happiness in life. And so that is why one of the things in last week I talked about it, really pushing community. That we need to be a part of community. Everyone else is getting involved in community now, and so we're going to move forward. Our church, we've done it in the past, man. For years, we did a harvest festival. It really exploded. We had people that would come and sit. We had the opportunity to really mingle with those in our neighborhood. And then it got harder, and then COVID hit also. That really kind of diminished things of even connecting. And a couple of weeks ago, I think I said this, where I hung out with some boys playing basketball in our parking lot here, and they asked about it. And it was a joy in my heart, because I'd already been thinking about this community thought process of Christmas in the neighborhood. And so I told those boys, you know what, we're going to do something at Christmas time for you guys. And so invite your family, invite your friends. We're going to go, I'm going to do the legwork of door to door and inviting. And the good thing about this one, though, it's not just a church harvest festival. We're moving into Christmas in the neighborhood. The reason I chose that is because it's about the neighborhood. It's about the community. It's about being connected with them. And it's not just the church. We're trying to get others involved within our community to join in donating, especially either time, money, or product to the event that's going to be for the community, for our neighborhood especially. Okay. And so I've already got some people kind of getting involved, and that excites me. It's not just it's bigger than the church. It's the church and the community, and I love when the community is starting to get involved. And so what's going to take place December 12th, we're going to have this Christmas in the neighborhood. It's about a week before the kids take that humongous 3-week Christmas break this year, and we are going to celebrate with food, with fun, such as bounce houses and games. I got some really cool ideas. Other people, I've seen some things for some cool ideas for some more games, some live music. Man, I love the holiday music. Live music is going to be in this parking lot. And then, of course, we're going to have some filled stockings for each kid that comes, that we're looking out for one another. And we are trying to connect, to have tables set up to sit down and just mingle with those in our neighborhood. I am so looking forward to it. All of this, there are some community events that are done here that they charge you to go to them. Not this one. This is all donated. This is the community for the community. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm excited about it. And so for me, I'm leaning into the community, going to start relating to them. And that means being part of the community. So, I might have it down here. I hope you are too. The question, there's a bunch of questions, I guess. What makes you happy? What are the things that you are connected to that make your life happy? And is it lifelong? Did anyone see, like in last week's segment, what was the holiday thing in my office that reminded you of that holiday? Go ahead and still comment on that and let me know what you see. And then I started off this week's segment with what? What are you thankful for? And what is your favorite Thanksgiving memory? Leave that in the comments too. I want to hear life stories from maybe early on. What was the first things, to those who have lived a long life? What are some of the things that make for a happy, happy, happy life that include Thanksgiving? Thanks for joining me on this Hello Again Wednesday, number 51. And as always, it's Wednesday. We're about to have Bible study downstairs here at our church on the West Coast in Culver City at 4 p.m. Pastor Mark is leading us in the book of Romans. And so that's real exciting. If you would like to be a part of our Zoom, we do the Zoom for our Bible study also. And if you'd like that link, let me know in the comments. I'll try and get that to you, or at Culver City Church of God at yahoo.com, and I'll try to get that link to you. Do it early on so I can get that to you if you'd like to be a part of the Zoom. But if you can't be a part of our church Bible study or our church events that's taking place with well, we're actually going to have a church Thanksgiving dinner, but we're also going to have Christmas in the neighborhood. And so if you can't be a part of that, check out a church near you. 3 weeks, see what they're doing for Thanksgiving and be a part of it. See what they're doing in their Bible study. Be connected to it, and not just be a person that's in it, but make lifelong quality friendships and find out the happiness that is there. Like I said, hey, if you could, please share this video, bump it to other people, let them see, hey, this is what Brent's talking about, and maybe they'll jump in and answer some of the questions and leave comments also. That would be great. You know what? Please share. Thank you very much. It is so good. I am so glad that you have joined me on Hello Again Wednesday. If you ever wonder what I've done in the past, you can see the Facebook on my Facebook page, or the church's Facebook page, Culver City Church of God Ministries, or both of us have YouTube channels, so you can even see Hello Again Wednesday on those YouTube channels. Much happiness to all of you. Thank you for joining me this week on Hello Again Wednesday, and I will see you next Wednesday.